everybody. This is Mike. Wake up. I know it's the morning. We're going to talk about an important subject, integration. A lot of people understand that some stuff that happened with the integration movements did not turn out the way that a lot of black folks expected them to turn out. We'll talk about a few points on why integration was a big mistake, the way it was done. Now, some people may say, well, other communities integrate. What's wrong with the black people? How come y'all didn't want to integrate, but you don't want to go back to Africa? What's wrong with you? So I'm going to answer some of those little counter-talking points. And shout out to BMT. He inspired this message here. But really, I like to look at history. Everybody knows that because the thing is, most of the times, the stuff that we come up with on our own and we don't look at or listen to anyone else, we just making a mistake. We literally are making a lot of times the same mistakes old people made, but we like to think that we making up new stuff. So, just a couple of lead points here, like integration. People wanted integration because they had been coming out of a systematic dehumanization process. You know what I'm saying? People were sick of getting treated like trash. They didn't appreciate what they had. Black folks, we really didn't appreciate what we had. And so we felt like we didn't have anything, which was not true. But sometimes, just like the old saying goes, you have to lose something in order to realize what you have. And, a lot of times black folks, let me say it just like this. We had many towns that we controlled. Now, the stuff that we controlled, we disrespected our own stuff a lot of times. Called it, greasy spoons. We called our own restaurants disrespectful terms and everything. And so there was a big push. We wanted to basically be exactly like white people. What's up? What's up, BMT? What's up? Hey, let me drop a couple of little points down, and then we'll see. You're going to see what's up. No, but the point is, we wanted to be just like white folks. We wanted to be just like white folks. And we thought the way to do that was the integration. So what we did is we wanted to basically just, force white people to accept us. And that's pretty much what happened with the integration situation. And what I want to do, I just want to show a couple of pieces here because BMT, I know you're going to have your big show at 12. And I want to lay down a couple of little points here. And, you know what I'm saying? You better at all of this movement than me. But we're going to share the screen here. And we're going to look and see what's up. Integration thing, press the thumbs up since you're sitting here. Now, here's the man that fought for integration. Here he is. Who's that? Who's this guy right here? This is one of the dudes who fought for integration. He was the leader of the movement. This right here, this is the man. He was the leader of the movement that got you what everybody at that time thought they wanted. They wanted to mix with white people. They thought white folks was going to fully accept them. We were going to be a one big happy family, and this is what the people was expecting. So, and he said a lot of things. Everybody should look at this, but we're just going to look at a piece of it.
Schools are more segregated in the North today than they were in 1954 when the Supreme Court rendered its decision declaring segregation unconstitutional. Anybody can look around the ghetto and see that ghetto schools are predominantly segregated and devoid of quality. Anyone who moves through a major ghetto of our country will see the housing conditions. People don't have to be reminded that they are forced to live in slums in many instances, and they're often rat-infested, vermin-filled slums. And it isn't too hard to see the exploitation that the Negro confronts in the ghetto, where he is forced to pay more for less and constantly trying to make ends meet, but because of either no job as a result of unemployment or a job that is so economically unprofitable that the person can't make ends meet. And I think they see all of these things, and more they're coming to see them, because before the people of the North were looking to the South and they supported the struggles of the South. Now they're coming to see that their problems are very real and they've got organized to grapple with them.
All right, now that was Martin Luther King. He was saying how this is after he said he did the segregation thing. So he's making these statements after he had realized, like, dang, this ain't work out.
The white community.
Let's go to another part of this. Is the last little part I want to show you what he was talking about
the
here.
whole question of racial
This ain't the only thing.
Has existed since the founding of our nation. I think the other thing that we must see at this time is that many of the people who supported us in Selma, in Birmingham, were really outraged about the extremist behavior toward Negroes. But they were not at that moment, and they are not now, committed to genuine equality for Negroes.
And they still
it's
not.
much easier to integrate a lunch counter than it is to guarantee an annual income, for instance, to get rid of poverty for Negroes and all poor people. It's much easier to integrate a bus than it is to make genuine integration a reality and quality education a reality in our schools. It's much easier to integrate even a public park than it is to get rid of slums. And I think we are in a new era, a new phase of the struggle, where we have moved from a struggle for decency, which characterized our struggle for 10 or 12 years, to a struggle for genuine equality. And this is where we're getting the resistance, because there was never any intention to go this far. People were reacting to Bull Connor and to Jim Clark rather than acting in good faith for the realization of genuine equality.
Yeah, we're free, but we gotta deal with what's up. We gotta deal with what the people thought. This is what they thought was gonna happen with integration. Look at him. He's like, you know, it's easier to integrate that lunch counter. You can come to our stores, you can give us your money, but guess what? You're not gonna get our money. This is where the disappointment is coming into the place here. And this is what the integration that Black folks tried to do. This is what we thought. Now, if you look at other groups, right, they don't integrate their money. They integrate other things. You can come into the neighborhood, but they own everything. And so this is the kind of situation that we gotta look at a little different here. Now, I got another thing to play for you. And this for you, BMT, you know, you making it happen. But you know, I'm just, you know, this is your thing, bro. But what I want to do here is, hold on a second here. I know I'm not as good with this sharing thing. Let me go to another part. All right. No, but see, we gotta get this part, because this here is serious. Because it's good to integrate the people for respect, but if you're integrating, you got to make sure you're doing. Let's see. Oh my God! All right, I think this is the part that I want to play. Oh, you know what? I guess I could have kept it on that. This ain't gonna work. Maybe this will work. All right, we're gonna play a part here. Madam C.J. Walker. This is the old people. We're not.
The beautiful life with
Up to Cinderella.
Now, you know, I don't know if y'all know who Madam C.J. Walker was. This is a rich black woman. She was the first on record millionaire on record. This is black women. She was doing people's hair, millionaire. She became a millionaire. Very famous story. This is history. Now, keep in mind, these are the black folks that supposedly this is right before the Martin Luther King generation. Okay, this is before. This is we free. See, we are free, but we don't have what Madam C.J. Walker and these people had. We don't even have this because I don't got time to play you the whole thing. Everybody need to look at their own thing. But these people were creating their own businesses.
Ran to pick it up, and she said, "That's all." See, a mink coat falling on the floor to Madam Walker didn't matter. Now I'm a brown.
They were rich. This was the Harlem Renaissance.
Brown girl, making my life.
Black people was rich. A lot of them.
Even taking the trouble to even blow the bubbles away.
Madam had an ironclad rule. None of her army of saleswomen were allowed to use the word straightener, and it never appeared in any Walker ads.
All black women.
Product. But Madam Walker has been called the hair straightening queen, a hypocrite, imposing Caucasian standards of beauty on the black women of America.
The hot bathing sun has the
popular belief.
Yeah, so we're not going to go through the whole thing, but the point is, I just wanted to show that we had this money, and I want to show this one last part.
And she just did not heed.
Hold on a second. Yes, right here. The daughter took over the company, and of course, the daughter lost all the money.
Langston Hughes read the eulogy.
All right, so this is a good part. Now listen to this real good.
Well, I think we were the only musical organization that was represented, and we.
So at this point, Madam C.J. Walker died. She left the company, the $1 million company, to her daughter. Her daughter spent the money, played around, had fun in Harlem and New York. And what ends up happening is she passes away because she couldn't keep the mansion. She couldn't keep all the sales jobs and everything. And integration happens. So people started to what? They felt so good they didn't have to give their money to only black people. They had choices. They had all these free choices. And who are we wanting? When we say we have a choice, we don't choose to give money to our own self. We choose to give money to other folks. So let's look at this part.
One of her favorites, Leah's favorites, I'll Be Seeing You by Noel Coward.
Thousands came to say goodbye. To her dear friend Langston Hughes, Alilia's death marked the end of the gay times of the new Negroes in Harlem. The crash of 1929, he wrote, left white people with less money to spend on themselves and practically none to spend on Negroes. The Depression, Hughes added, brought everybody down a peg or two, and the Negroes had but a few pegs to fall.
I can't imagine a place that was as full of life as Harlem was be in the condition that it is now. I just can't see how it ever got that way. I should see, because Indiana Avenue here in Indianapolis is the same way. So I should see, but I don't. Negroes had pride, and they dressed it and showed it. And they were beautiful. They were the beautiful people, and they were that.
Keep in mind, these people are living at that time.
It seems as though we gave up. We gave up and just, our restaurants, we had restaurants, inns, and when we could go
to their ends, then we forgot that man. In fact, I've had friends to call colored restaurants. The one that I'd go to this evening, if I was taking you off for dinner, I'd go to it. They call it the greasy spoon now. They can't I don't understand us. That's the part I don't understand. We don't have enough race pride. That's what I see.
That's great, Granny. She's telling us what mistakes her generation made. Look at that card. Black folks had stuff. Okay. So this is what I want to say with the integration thing. And you got many people from this generation telling us they wanted the integration because they had the inferior schools. They felt like they had inferior schools. They were poor. Black folks had problems. But they thought that white folks didn't have problems because they didn't understand at that time that they had a good society. They didn't know because they had just basically came out of slavery. But now we got the opportunity to see more history than they did. And we see that you can integrate in the laws and equal treatment in the society, but you don't integrate your economy. That's the problem that we did. We integrated our economy. And so since we didn't have the sophistication of the other more established communities, when we integrate, white businesses, they simply have more money than our businesses. They can do things for cheaper than our businesses. And other groups have more experience than us. And they basically put our businesses out of business. And so now today, in order for us to make our neighborhood look good, we have to protest. We got to protest before we can do anything, basically. And so this is the problem with the integration. This is the problem. It's not about, some of this other stuff that we think it is. It's just the fact that, let me see if I can. Yeah, it's the simple fact that this is not working for us the way we thought it was going to work for us. It's leaving us weak. It's leaving us dependent. And that's not something that I think that the people wanted us to, our parents wanted us to have. I got to play some more history. I just want to go through some of these points from the people because it's not me just making this up. And that's what I want to get to. I don't want it to be just like me just saying, making up stupid talking points just like the manosphere. I don't just make it up and spit it off from nowhere. I get my stuff from people that have more experience than I do. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So let me go through this part. I just want to see what the black folks had.
Radio station said I came black, that blacks was as prosperous. I used to talk about how fine Atlanta.
Keep in mind, this is Hosea Williams. This man here, hold on a second here. I gotta share it right. Oh, wait, let's see. I keep on trying different things here. I'll get the hang of this. Oh, here it is, I think. Oh, no, that's not it. There it is. Yep, there it is. There it is right here.
We didn't talk.
There it is.
It was to talk about
even better.
how fine Atlanta, Georgia.
So really what I wanted to do is, this is Hosea Williams. He is another man that helped integrate. He's the one that put his body on the line, fought, bled, had his friends died in order to integrate, to give you what you thought you want. This is what he did. This is what he's saying.
Was at that time. And you had Peachtree Street, which the white people owned and operated, but you had Auburn Avenue. And I think Auburn Avenue was as much responsible for the progress of Atlanta as Peachtree Street. This is probably the only city that I'd ever known, and even today, that one of the reasons for the black progress, blacks did not have to go to white people for nothing, because the money, the big money was being made at Atlanta Life, but deposit basically in Citizen Trust, and that's where all these black people are getting this money to buy these homes and put up these businesses. But it was just, I never heard talk of a black radio station till I came. Black radio station owned and operated, and it was just, but Atlanta was just so fine. And at that time, there was unquestionable difference said between, you had Auburn Avenue and a few blocks south of Auburn Avenue. That's where you found the thugs, the pimps, you know. That was over in Decatur Street. Of course, you had just north of it, had Buttermilk Bottom, which wasn't so bad. It was a residential area, but Auburn, I mean, it was just, I don't know any place that you could go in the world
What's up, Robert?
that was as peaceful,
thumbs up for me.
and people was as educated and intelligent and happy,
if I want to, but
particularly blacks in Auburn Avenue.
Information out there. Tune in to BMT show. He's gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a panel talking about 12 on this subject. So I'm just putting a few pieces of information out there. I just want to put a couple pieces of information out because, see, we can't be dishonest when we're talking about this integration and this segregation thing. We got to be honest. Now, yes, black folks fought, bled, died. We sat up here, we marched, we begged white people to give us integration. Please give us the integration and, you know, help us. So they said, okay, we're going to take y'all money. Because that's basically to them, that's what we were saying. To them, they were like, we got this whole entire community begging us to steal their money. Okay, we're gonna steal it. And the thing is, we just were too naive. Keep in mind, we didn't know. We literally thought that because the Declaration of Independence said that all men are created equal, we literally thought that these white folks was talking about us. And some of us still think that these white people talking about us. They was not talking about us when he was talking about the Declaration of Independence. They were talking about themselves. When they were talking about in your Declaration of Independence, they were talking about how, oh, you know, governments are formed to secure the rights of men, but they weren't talking about us when they would. That's the reason why this government doesn't really secure your rights. And so, yeah, we're free. We are free, but we gotta learn and know what the actual situation is, so we're not sitting around here making these big, gigantic mistakes that's putting each generation in the same stupid struggle. As I'm pulling stuff up from like 8 generations ago, and it's still relevant because we're still at the same situation. That's the problem. I want to play what Hosea Williams said here. And keep in mind, this is a man who actually fought for integration here. I'm just trying to get a couple points out there. Press the thumbs up, share it, you know. Let me know what you think. And listen to this.
You'll never let them break up this team. And that's what made, I don't know, to be honest about it, black people today are worse off in America than we were 35 years ago. Because not only have we not gained our fair share of America's economy, we have lost control of the economics of our communities. And that's across this country, not just in Orbit Avenue. It's true in Harlem. It's true in Boston, Washington. And it's been amazing to me that the white power structure obviously came to their senses and said, stop repressing them, stop rejecting them, open the door and let them come on in. And black people unwisely throughout this nation went out through white America and spent all of our money. White America did not reciprocate, did not spend hardly any money in the black community. And the black community across America went broke. That's what happened to Orbit Avenue. And it's really pitiful that the blacks that we got in office, in many cases, they became the house niggas, product of the white power structure, which resulted in them becoming a bigger enemy to the people, just as big an enemy, in some instances more enemy to the people, than their white predecessors. And that's why today it really hurts me. The number of people died, black and white, getting us the right to register and vote. And the vote turned out to be such a negative to us. Evidence of that after we got the voters' bill and had scope and did all the registered people to vote. They elected a black mayor in New York, a black mayor in Chicago, a black mayor in Boston, many cities. And today, they all again have white mayors because those blacks got in office and sold the black people out.
Dang. Hosea Williams let it be known, man. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, the people are telling you. See, we're listening to a few black folks who, just because, during that time, Martin Luther King and them, they was running around. They thought, like I said, they didn't know. They thought like, oh, we getting treated like trash because these people, they don't see that we're human. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not like, it's just not what they did. So I want to put. You're breaking every. Second here. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, this ain't gonna work. Man, I'm trying to show this one last one, but the bottom line, I think I showed enough. It's several people from that time that proved my point. The point is, our type of integration should be, if you look at Chinese people, you look at even Native American folks or Indians from East India, or even Italians or Greeks or whatever. They come over here, they take advantage of the economy, they leech off of the welfare system that we created. The Mexican or the immigrant or Latinos, they come over here. They get the welfare, they get the benefits, they get all the great little things and goodies that American folks and most of the time black folks fought to get, just so we can live decently. Most of that stuff, the people who are just play for you, those are the ones who fought for a lot of that stuff. A lot of them died. Medgar Evers, just a lot of folks fought and did things to, get us halfway decent, right? But what ends up happening here is what ends up actually happening is the people, they create these things, but they don't basically they don't give back, right? They don't give back, and they do not they don't basically share their economy. If you can find where Greeks exist in their neighborhood, right? And if you think you're going to go into a Chinese or Asian area and buy a storefront and start selling, you know, fat back and ribs or chicken, you're not going to own that spot there. And you can go try to sue them all you want to. It's just not going to happen. If you think you're going to set up, if you go into certain parts of Georgia, like for example, I think you got Norcross, Georgia, you got, I think they up in Gwinnett County. I know for a fact they out in San Francisco. They got Asian little spots in Chicago. You don't go there and start owning and running and controlling what they have. They own, run, and control what they have. And keep in mind, we did that before. So it's not like we don't, you know, we can't do that. We actually did that before. You know, these are the type of things that we did as Black folks. But with the integration, with integration, what do? We sat up here and gave our, you know, we pretty much gave our stuff away. So, you know, that's all. That's all I want to say. I'm just putting this out here just to let us know that the bottom line is we got to change this integration thing. We're not talking about segregation, because segregation is what we hated. When you segregate something, that means that you still got a bed because you don't own and control where you live. And you're doing that not by your own choice. But if you look at some of this here, Black folks owned and controlled whole towns and cities. We owned and controlled whole cities after enslavement, you know, and we did that quite successfully. As you start seeing, we start producing the first millionaires, literally the first female millionaire of any race in this country. In CJ Walker, and then there was another sister that became a millionaire. Black woman, the only millionaire females start becoming Black women in the entire country. Two of the first millionaires were Black women. They had to steal that. They had to mess that up. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, yes, exactly. Segregation is by law, and separation is by choice. See, we got to choose to conserve our own money. And that's the point. It's not about going backwards in time under oppression. It's just like learning from what actually happened, right? And making it work the way we want it to work. So, you know what I'm saying? This is when I start playing this music. That's letting you know I'm about to go. But but the point is, look, I just want to put it out there. We are free. As my boy BMT said, he said, we are free. Our job is to start buying up land. We need to start buying up land because we were kicked off a lot of our land. You see, because they were literally stealing our economy. They kicked us off our land. We can buy land, but we got to buy land in clusters. We got to form organizations, start working with our families again, stop all that arguing with your family and try to make your little marriage work, try to, you know, work with your baby mamas so you got control of your kids, teach them good stuff so we can start working this thing back in and where we can get control and we can be proud, just like the old elder said, we lacked our race pride. You know, we call our own restaurants Greasy Spoons. Hey, we got to change that up. And guess what? We can still be friends with white people. You know, ain't nothing about that. But the point is, God bless the child that have his own, right? Ain't nobody gonna respect no beggar. That's what we are. Anytime we want to get something done in Black neighborhoods, we protest. Anytime anybody else, if a Chinese person or Asian people want a school or want better education, we don't see them running around protesting. They just make it happen. They raise the money and make it happen, right? And the only reason why we protest is because somebody else owns every damn thing we got. So that's got to change, baby, right? All right, y'all. Peace out. I'm done.